What's going on, folks, and welcome back to another day in Eternum. Today we've actually got an update on their progress with the voice acting in New World. We previously talked about how in past interviews, it was mentioned that the voice acting and cinematics would be something they would consider, but mostly they talked about the cinematic side. Turns out that alongside expanding the main story questline up to 40 like we talked about recently, they've also added multiple other quality of life changes. This new article starts off with them stating that questlines are the backbone of New World's storytelling experience. With the player feedback, they've been consistently making improvements to the questline system, and will continue to make changes as we head towards launch. Right now, for their vision, they have 4 key pillars when it comes to the questlines. First one is to give players an identity and purpose. They want players to understand their part in this cataclysm of events that are unfolding around Eternum. This is very much a crucial portion in games, and I don't know about everybody else, but these days I love the kinds of games that don't automatically brand you as the chosen one. You have to earn your status and power, or in reality you're just like everybody else and the world does a good job of reminding you that. And their next pillar is for immersing players in Eternum. The main story questline guides players through each of the island's regions and offers opportunities to explore the lore of Eternum through uncovering ancient secrets, learning about enemy groups that occupy the island, which as we know, consists mainly of the corrupted, the ancients, the lost, and the angry earth, and meeting powerful friends and enemies as you learn that not all is as it seems on the surface of this new mystical world. We also get a brief look at a character known as Adiana Theron. What's interesting is that her dialogue says that she has no sympathy for the plight of humans in the battle against corruption, but she also strongly resembles a human herself. The first option we can pick lets us say that we need a seed of the angry earth, which lets us know that she's somehow affiliated with them. Getting a strong elven vibe just based off her attire, but there's probably something else going on here, and she just doesn't consider herself a human anymore. Very interested to find out more about her, but the next pillar is for providing consistent activities for players. From the first moment we wash up on the beach, all the way through our journey to level 60 and endgame content, players should have an active objective to complete in a series of ongoing story-driven questlines. And the last one is that they want to highlight special moments and celebrate progress, taking players to distinct areas and points of interest across the land and adding climax to unique questlines anchored in lore. This plus unlocking special items and the secrets of Eternum are all key to designing and updating the main story questline. I like that they're taking this approach, because although the questline aspect itself has always been just a way to get you from point A to point B in these MMOs, the storytelling aspect can make all the difference for some players being more interested in learning about your game's world, or just skipping through all the dialogue and cinematics. Some players will just do this anyway, and I've definitely done this a lot in the past, but it's also common that MMOs and MMORPGs just don't do a good job in the story department these days. It's more like an add-on or a secondary thing. Plus, if you're playing from a hardcore standpoint, you kinda have to anyway to get to end game faster. But the next part goes over the recent changes. There's been some new quest variety and new objectives across the questline system as a whole. Many of the zones have had their story restructured, so this should be a lot different from the preview. And as a start, they've replaced generic looting objects with new interactable items tailored to a specific questline. So no longer do we have to go from place to place just looting boxes all day. Along with this, they've also given us more special experiences within both the main story questline and the side quests throughout Eternum. The starting experience and early questline to obtain the Azoth staff has also had many alterations and adjustments made to it. For those that don't know, this Azoth staff, aka Corruption's Bane, comes from the main story questline that you do early on that ends around level 20 to 25. We also used to be able to buy this from the faction vendors, but at least on the quest side, it sounds like they're going to be doing some major improvements there. They also added voiceover and improved dialogue. I'm going to play the clip for you, but they said all existing questlines have had their dialogue updated to improve NPC characterization and enhance quest directives. Currently, the game only features these voiceovers in English for the main story questlines and the starting beach areas, but localization voiceover is in progress.
It's always a treat to see a new face. Whether you are new to Eternum or simply from another settlement, you are welcome to First Light.
It's almost a shame. I think the bears were about to accept me. Maybe.
Well, what do you think of our new camp? Not much to look at yet, but as Plato says, the beginning is the most important part of the work. Though, this fort seems familiar somehow. Have I been here before?
Wasn't sure when we would get this, to be honest. I was expecting later after launch for this to become a thing, and that they would focus on the cinematics first. It's a nice surprise to see, and I'm very much looking forward to seeing where this goes. If they give characters like Isabella, the Siren Queen, or the Empress voice lines, that's going to add an even bigger impact when we do meet those characters, especially in cinematics if we see things from their perspective, or when they meet us directly. Me personally, I'm extremely interested in seeing the corrupted communicate, and what they'll say. And speaking of the Siren Queen and the Empress, they've officially introduced those characters into the world, so now we finally have a chance to take them on. Really excited to see them in character form and experience any and all mechanics they're going to throw at us. Reekwater and Ebonscale Reach were also expanded recently for adding hugely narrative questlines. And lastly, of course, as we talked about in the patch notes, they've added new questlines for weapon and armor sets. And we did learn that the armor ones would in fact have set bonuses too, so we'll still have to find out what's going to happen there. But looking forward, they will continue to expand the main story questline, so since they only have it going up to 40 right now, probably before launch we'll see this extend to 60. And then for whatever big updates or expansions they have, they might increase the level cap or they'll just add on to the level 60 story. That's something I'm really curious about though. I wonder if people would even want them to increase it, or design some type of extra progression system. How do you guys feel about that? Because I don't think we've talked about it before. They also plan to introduce new enemy types, unique objectives to continue to improve quest variety, and new stories for the players to experience on their quest lines to learn the secrets of Eternum. But with that, that's everything we have for today. Gameplay content will still be crucial, but it's good that they're tackling this side of the game a bit too. Setting up a good foundation for a storyline in your game can sometimes be a key to success, as we've seen before, but in this scenario, we'll just have to see. Thanks so much for watching this far, have a wonderful night or day folks, and farewell.